Yo, so I just had a major breakthrough. Um, so I just discovered this guy. His name is Riley Brown, and he's talking about how you can basically code from basically bring your mind, use your mind and just code. So I'm just gonna run this video so that you guys understand what I'm talking about, and I'm gonna be speaking about my ideas as we go through it.
Using AI, specifically Claude 3.5 Sonnet, I created a full website with a front end and a back end from scratch. Meaning, I basically went to Claude and said, I want a page that looks like this. And Claude said, okay, here's the code. Gave it back to me. I pasted it in a code editor, and then I ran it. I then evaluated it, or I got errors, and I would say, Claude, fix it. And I went through this entire process over and over again without writing any code, basically just asking Claude what to do, and then pasting in the code, or doing the instructions on the back end, which I'll get to later. I created this full website. Keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, I had never written a line of code in my life, or copied and pasted code in my life into an editor. But it was one feature that really drove me. It was this feature in Claude, which basically renders your code directly in the side window. So you don't even need to copy and paste it anywhere. You could say, create a front end website that looks like this, and it will just do it. Make this about pizza, actually. You see that? Slice of heaven. It will just do that right there on the side window. The problem is this isn't actually a website. You can hit publish and share this front-end experience, but you can't hook it up to your own domain, and the data isn't stored anywhere. So then I thought, how far can I push this? What could I create while using only AI that would actually benefit my business? And so that's when I decided, okay, well, I need a place to paste this code. So I asked Claude, where do I paste this code to get it to run? And it suggested Replit. So that's where I went. So the rest of this video, this is the first time I've ever created a functional backend where other users can sign in. So far, 84 people have signed in. I created this thing using the backend so that when a user signs up, it will actually count the number of users and it will put it right here from scratch, right? Before, you could do this on WordPress with some plugin, but I know how to ask Claude to just create it from scratch without any intermediary. I had never created a website with a backend, and I've never really created a website that's gotten any traffic. And so I want this site to look good, and I want it to be scalable over the long run. So throughout this video, you're going to see me creating the front-end concept on Cloud Artifacts based on another site that I wanted to mimic, and then I'm going to paste this code into the editor on Replit, and there's a template that I used. It's not a very big template, it just adds a little file that makes it run more smoothly, and I'll paste it in the description below. And then in Replit, we also just made a ton of adjustments, copying and pasting from Replit, which basically runs the code, and you'll see me wrestle with Claude to get it to look correct, and then we created a backend on Firebase, which I had no idea really how to do this prior to last week when I first tried it and failed. And today, in this video, I got it down, and then we basically connected this backend with the front end, and then we created a database. And so the database is necessary for all of the actions to be stored on the website. So when someone adds a comment, it needs to store those comments in a collection. I kind of think of this as like a giant Excel sheet, sort of. And then I also did user management. On this website, I have this admin page. I can add a course, and I can add a new lesson. However, if I sign out and sign in as a standard user, I don't have that page, right? It's not there. There's nothing there, right? So I can't see that. So we set up permissions, user management, and then my main code file got way too long, and then I asked AI to basically separate it into a bunch of different files, which then made it significantly easier to do styling. And then after I did styling, we deployed it, and then I added my own domain. And so this video is not necessarily a step-by-step tutorial, because the path that I took is certainly not the most optimal path. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm a beginner, but I'm a relentless beginner, and so I was successful in this video. And so the main point is that this is proof that through brute force, asking AI with enough determination, you can basically get the end result that you want. As long as you don't get flustered and you have a high tolerance for being annoyed, you can do unspeakable things, because this is just the foundation. Create.inc is a domain that I bought. I spent thousands of dollars on this domain, and I'm going to build prototypes that are actual AI apps that users can use. And I'm going to create a podcast where literally all we do is use different AI tools to create apps that we can then put prototypes. We're going to keep everything open source. People are going to be able to download the code and make them better. And it's going to be a creative studio using all the different AI tools, all the way from code to AI generated video, images, and music. It's going to be sick. And so I wanted to create this. I thought it was very important, and I used AI through brute force throughout this process, where literally all we do is use different AI tools to create apps that we can then put prototypes. We're going to keep everything open source. People are going to be able to download the code and make them better. And it's going to be a creative studio using all the different AI tools, all the way from code to AI generated video, images, and music. It's going to be sick. And so I wanted to create this. I thought it was very important, and I used AI through brute force throughout this process to create it. And I hope that it inspires you to do the same. And if there's anything that you need from me, I am going to put a general chat on create.inc where you can ask questions, and I'm going to respond there. I am also going to, on create.inc, this creating websites with AI, on this creating front end and back end with AI, this is where I'm going to put all of the information. So I haven't edited this yet, but right now I can't edit this because I'm not signed into my main account. But if I sign in as rileycrooked@gmail.com, which is the admin account, right, I can actually I can go to this site and now I can edit this. So I will be putting all of the resources here, step by step, more detail. Me know if you guys have questions. And this is all being stored on the backend database. We can see that these are all the users. All the users are coming in now because I posted it on Twitter. I will be putting all of the resources here, and we can see all of the comments that have come in. All of this data is being updated based on what's happening on the front end of the website, and I set this up fully by asking Claude, and you're going to see this whole process in this video. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video.
Sorry, I already joined the community. I already introduced myself. This is insane. So this changes a lot of things up. So, for example, right now, I was just creating an idea for the social media app that I want to create through an example that he was talking about. Here it is. I want to create a social dancing social media app, and I've been thinking about this for hours, and I've just been questioning and doubting it mostly, where I was like, man, that's going to take years for me to be able to create this and bring this into fruition. I need to learn code. I need to talk to a developer. I need to put in hundreds of thousands of dollars into this idea. But now here it is, and right before my eyes, I'm able to conceptualize, bring that idea to life, and have something that I can, hold within my mind. So here it is. For example, here would be the feed. Have the feed look more like the brand colors: tan, red, orange, and anything you find aesthetic. Use the designer within you. And so it just renders this, and it creates the code. It writes down the code, and then right here in real time, it outputs the front end for you, which is just like ridiculous. Like, when did I think I'd be able to find something like this? So this is huge because he has the steps. Well, first off, most importantly, the thing that I like about this guy, Riley, is that he is pushing the idea of learning as you go and making the process of creation, the primary thing, which is everything that I talk about. It's about the creation, the process of creating the idea and bringing it to life, and not hesitating. So he said brute force and the willingness to learn and to go through the hard times of like the struggles, fixing the errors, etc. That's basically all I talk about. It's like, for me, it's not really about brute force though. It's more about flexibility and patience and contemplation and intuition. So I found this video through intuition. Something was telling me to go on YouTube and just check on what's out there. I was scrolling, and then bam, I found this guy. And I was like, okay, this is what I've been looking for, because I've had this question. I just did my hour of animation, of learning animation, and now I was going to do my hour of coding. And right before I get into coding, I find it, which is ridiculous. Like, so first off, I just want to say that video that I talked about, intuitive consumption, that shit is legit. Like, I wouldn't be able to find this specific person had I not been tuned into my intuition. And the more I listen to him, the more happy I am. And just to tell you something, I was also in another school community, trying to learn use no code for what I do, and I ended up leaving it. It was no code architects. I'm not gonna stay. I was in a call with the guy. He just seemed very burnt out. He seemed very tired, and I didn't really like the vibes. I just said, you know what? I gotta drop it. I'm gonna have to figure it out on my own. I'm gonna have to walk away from this community, even though it does seem to provide value. I just have to walk away. And then I walk away, and the universe brings me this guy right here. So, that within itself is a great learning, like a great lesson. Sometimes you're afraid to walk away from something that's giving you a lot of value, but you just are not in alignment with the way the person works, their values, etc. And then bam, the universe brings you somebody else that can support you in your journey. Now, am I super attached to this person? No. I like what he's going. I like what he's saying. His approach seems very just about creativity, pure creation, and so I'm gonna trust this guy, and he's already helped me out a lot. So, for example, right here, this is my idea, bro. Like, this is literally what I've been thinking about. It's been in my head because I've been going to Reddit, and I've been posting my thoughts around social dancing, and it just pisses me off how much these guys hate on what I talk about. Like, here's my post. Social dance as a relationship teacher, because I've learned so much from social dancing. Like, so much about how to have solid relationships, positive relationships, thanks to social dancing. I posted this on our bachata, and they removed it just because I guess it doesn't relate to the community. And then here, so Here it is. Social dance. The social dance on. It has to be a safe space. It allows for people to grow their creativity, to connect with who they truly are. A unique opportunity to learn the value of co-creation, which is basically what happens when you engage in a relationship with somebody. At its core, social dancing reveals a universal truth. When two individuals, each tuned into their true power, come together, they can create something extraordinary. This connection is rooted in a relationship of love, trust, vulnerability, and authentic expression. The dance floor therefore becomes an arena where people can experience what it means to be in an empowering relationship. People, like, they just removed this post. So this is my lucid living post. Hey, 45 people looked at that. That's pretty dope. Now the power of the social dance floor. I got downvoted. Got 3 comments, and people just two guys making fun of it, saying that it's just a poem, no connection to what it's saying. Again, the declaration, whatever the fuck that means. And then another guy just saying that that dancing is more than trying to prove is just you trying to prove you're worthy of sex. So I don't know. This site is just it does not foster the people that I want. Like, and the beautiful thing is that I keep thinking, well, if you don't find it, you have to create it, and here it is. I'm gonna create my own social dancing app. Now, do I want to pay for it? Do I want to charge? I don't know. All I know is I want to create it, and it looks like a great idea, so I'm gonna bring it forward. So here it is. I love it. It's good. Now, let me show you the user profile. And then another great thing is that I've been struggling to create. I want to create a content system so I can be able to have basically my own assistant that can look at my videos, look at my transcript, and then be able to output clips, social media clips that can be very relevant to the platforms that I'm in, to my business. So I've been struggling with it, and this guy is already showing what he's doing, so I know I'm going to be able to find my answer somewhere along the line. So he's saying to set up a Firebase, which is basically a database from Google. So I have a Google account. I can pay for a Firebase subscription, and I'll be able to have my own database. And also, I want to be able to update my website. I want to make it more personal, much more dynamic, much more reflective of my personality. So I want to have like animations, and I want to have people actually be able to log in here and create their own profiles, be able to connect to different spaces. So I'll have like right here I'll have I don't know, like lucid living, lucid dancing, lucid vlogs, and then I could have like my other communities, lucid parenting, lucid like salseros, like lucid dancing. So all of these different sub boxes that I'm connected to. For example, I'm a parent, I'm a dancer. People can connect with me on those things, and I can put my courses and my the things that I'm interested in on there. And so that allows me to just create this whole, basically my mind. It just allows me to put my mind onto the web, which is basically what I want to do. I want to be able to condense my mind to be able to put it on the web for people to be able to come in and just transform and achieve their dreams and tap into their to their creative abilities. So, you know, that's another idea that I have, and this is what like has been sparked within me thanks to finding this person, this guy. If you guys are finding this helpful, check this guy out, Riley Brown, on YouTube. The video that specifically I'm talking about that I found him in was this video. I can't believe we coded an app with AI in 67 minutes. And I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, intuitive consumption. If there's anything that you get out of this video, it's not that this is the revolutionary thing. Like, the revolutionary thing is something that you hold within you. Your ability to consume, information intuitively will always bring you the right people, the right opportunities, the right ideas, everything at the right time. Like you don't have to. I don't stress about finding an answer anymore. I just find it. Like I just do my thing. I go into creation mode. I do my thing, and then I go into consumption mode, and then that gives me more ability to create to create. And so then at the end of the day, these things become one, because basically now the fastest way to learn is through projects. Like in school, they have you repeat through rote memorization, but here this is a new age of education, which is you learn through doing. So through implementing these things, through trying it out, through engaging with the software, through through engaging with the software. Like look at that. So it's beautiful, because I thought that, like, I want to create a way for dancers to analyze, to get to know themselves. So within the app, maybe I can integrate that, where I have people analyze their personalities and be able to see what kind of dance style they're more prone to. And so then we can, have like people come in and suggest specific dance styles that could basically take them to the next level. And then we hear like technical skills, having a rating system for them so that they can improve. Here we have the basic social media stuff, which would be videos. And then here we have the events page, which will be something that differentiates it from other social media apps such as Instagram and Facebook. So what I'm doing here is also, I finally have a space or a place to be able to put my ideas and bring them to life. And here I just think about also, I don't know, like, dude, your life can change so quick. Like right here, I understand there's another breakthrough, and all of my ideas can now come to life. There is nothing, and I think this is the most fundamental concept, which is, we often stop ourselves from creating because we always doubt ourselves. We always have to put a label on what we're doing, what we're trying to create. We can't succeed because we need to learn this. We can't succeed because we need to put this much money. We can't succeed because blah, blah, blah. But we live in the age of the internet, and more importantly, we have access to our intuition, and so our intuition will always guide us to the right place. So if you're watching me live, what's up? Oh, what's up, Fumes? What aspect of coding are you learning? Honestly, I'm very beginner, bro. So I'm just learning to I'm very beginner. So basically, I can show you. I'll show you the video so you can watch exactly like what I'm talking about, what this guy is talking about. Maybe you can give some feedback. Let me know what you think. But we'll go through the process. I'm doing it 2x speed. That's how I watch my videos. But basically, I need to learn front end, back end, everything. So yeah, and I'm very beginner, so I don't really know much. But I am super happy to see this because I can already see the potential.
My mission now, I'm dedicating the next 10 years to trying to build Create Inc. into the most creative and empowering studio. I want to gather all the people who are excited to create things in one place. We're going to just create stuff, and I believe that all these mediums are being mushed together. Programming, video, images, 3D, motion graphics. It's all getting easier, and it's all about what you want to create and your desire to create. That's my main mission. I hope you guys like this video. Enjoy. We're going to try and get AI to recreate this website. All right, so let's do this in segments. I don't even know how to create a sign-in page, but we're going to figure it out in this video. So let's come in here on this thing. This thing's going to be the toughest part. I don't even like it either. Can you turn this diagram into a progress bar list with indents, paste that screenshot in here, and let's just try this. Okay, so let's add some background color. So now it's like if indent, the font is bold, large. Okay, so this isn't bad. When I click on these, I want it to open up to a new page. Use placeholders for the individual courses that you check off. So we're just gonna have, it's just gonna say arrays and hashing course 1, and then there's gonna be like, it's gonna have like one of those, and then it's hashing course 2, course 1. Then I want it to update the progress bar of this on the main page. Also, change the colors of these. They are hideous. Make them a dark theme. Background.
Hey, Fume. So I want to add something too, because I remember I saw your comment on coding and animating, and I want to share that. I've been reading a book on polymaths, and I have it right here. polymaths right here. And what I'm seeing, what I'm thinking about is that, well, the author goes into Da Vinci, and he mentions that Da Vinci used imagery to basically bring all of his knowledge down and convey it in a way that is symbolic and almost like it's just like a secret. That's how he would instill his teachings in there. So this guy goes into like geometry and how all of this relates to the universe, and how Da Vinci was very connected to these occult teachings. And he's using like spirals, geometry to draw. And so one of the things I came to the conclusion that basically animation / video, well, first off, animation is a way to bring your mind onto somebody else's visuals and onto somebody's eyes, so people cannot see what exactly your mind, but with animation they will be able to. So it's almost like, Da Vinci didn't have access to video because it didn't exist back then, but I think that the highest form of media is video right now, and it's storytelling. So if I can learn animation, then I have access to the highest form of storytelling, and it basically will allow me to bring my mind to life, to have my mind be transplanted into somebody else's mind. And that is basically telepathy at the most physical level. And I know that right now, even when I'm speaking to people through verbiage and through there can be a mental connection that is established. But if we have animation, that will be so much more, that will be superseded. It will be just way easier to develop, to get your mind across. And now when it comes to coding, it only makes sense to learn coding because AI technology is coming in. It's the next step. The author of the book is Robert Edward Grant. He has a YouTube channel I can show you right now. I'll go back to this guy. What do you think so far about this guy, though? About Riley Brown? I'm curious, since you're into coding. Do you think that what he's teaching is helpful? Do you think that this is a breakthrough? Do you think that this could change things? Let me know what you think. But Robert Edward Grant, this is the guy that wrote the book. Now, do I recommend to pick this book up right now? I can't say that yet, just because it's a little dense. I don't feel, I'm like midway. I think that this book will be something that I just have in the vault for like a few months, and then once the time comes, I'll be able to really pay attention to it. I also purchased one of his other books. It's called Philomath, and he goes into basically how mathematics connects to, like, how understanding mathematics helps you understand the universe. So he's really big into numerology and geometry. He's a big math guy. But he also has a podcast that is pretty cool. Authenticity, acceptance, power, perspective, etc. So anyways, going back to Riley Brown. Yeah, let me know what you think about this guy so far. I don't know if you've seen the video so far, but I'm gonna continue to play this video, and if you have any questions, I'll be here to answer. Yeah, let me know what you think also about animation, and also what I just mentioned about animation.
Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I created a full
Okay.
full website with a front end and a back end from scratch. Meaning, I basically went to Claude and said, I want a page that looks like this. And Claude said, okay, here's the code. Gave it back to me. I pasted it in a code editor, and then I ran it. I then evaluated it, or I got errors, and I would say, Claude, fix it. And I went through this entire process over and over again without writing any code. Basically just asking Claude what to do, and then pasting in the code, or doing the instructions on the back end, which I'll get to later. I created this full website. Keep in mind, 2 weeks ago, I had never written a line of code in my life, or copied and pasted code in my life into an editor. But it was one feature that really drove me. It was this feature in Claude, which basically renders your code directly in the side window. So you don't even need to copy and paste it anywhere. You can say, create a front end website that looks like this, and it will just do it. Make this about pizza, actually. You see that? Slice of heaven. It will just do that right there on the side window. The problem is this isn't actually a website. You can hit publish and share this front-end experience, but you can't hook it up to your own domain, and the data isn't stored anywhere. So then I thought, how far can I push this? What could I create while using only AI that would actually benefit my business? And so that's when I decided, okay, well, I need a place to paste this code. So I asked Claude, where do I paste this code to get it to run? And it suggested Replit. So that's where I went. So the rest of this video, this is the first time I've ever created a functional backend where other users can sign in. So far, 84 people have signed in. I created this thing using the backend so that when a user signs up, it will actually count the number of users and it will put it right here from scratch, right? Before, you could do this on WordPress with some plugin, but I know how to ask Claude to just create it from scratch without any intermediary. I had never created a website with a backend, and I've never really created a website that's gotten any traffic. And so I want this site to look good, and I want it to be scalable over the long run. So throughout this video, you're gonna see me creating the front-end concept on Claude Artifacts based on another site that I wanted to mimic, and then I'm gonna paste this code into the editor on Replit, and there's a template that I used. It's not a very big template, it just adds a little file that makes it run more smoothly, and I'll paste it in the description below. And then in Replit, we also just made a ton of adjustments, copying and pasting from Replit, which basically runs the code, and you'll see me wrestle with Claude to get it to look correct, and then we created a backend on Firebase, which I had no idea really how to do this prior to last week when I first tried it and failed. And today, in this video, I got it down, and then we basically connected this backend with the front end, and then we created a database. And so the database is necessary for all of the actions to be stored on the website. So when someone adds a comment, it needs to store those comments in a collection. I kind of think of this as like a giant Excel sheet, sort of. And then I also did user management. On this website, I have this admin page. I can add a course, and I can add a new lesson. However, if I sign out and sign in as a standard user, I don't have that page, right? It's not there. There's nothing there, right? So I can't see that. So we set up permissions, user management, and then my main code file got way too long, and then I asked AI to basically separate it into a bunch of different files, which then made it significantly easier to do styling. And then after I did styling, we deployed it, and then I added my own domain. And so this video is not necessarily a step-by-step tutorial, because the path that I took is certainly not the most optimal path. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm a beginner, but I'm a relentless beginner, and so I was successful in this video. And so the main point is that this is proof that through brute force, asking AI with enough determination, you can basically get the end result that you want. As long as you don't get flustered and you have a high tolerance for being annoyed, you can do unspeakable things, because this is just the foundation. Create.inc is a domain that I bought. I spent thousands of dollars on this domain, and I'm going to build prototype.
I'm curious, have you used this specific tool and has it been helpful for you? I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm still looking to become a master at After Effects and be able to do it myself, but I'm more than open to learning more about this tool. Okay, for sure. Okay, I'll check it out for sure. Have you experimented with it? And then I'll probably check out. Actually, I'll just see it in real time. Or actually, cool. So I'll have to check it out for sure.
Prototypes that are actual AI apps that users can use. And I'm going to create a podcast where literally all we do is use different AI tools to create apps that we can then put prototypes. We're going to keep everything open source. People are going to be able to download the code and make them better. And it's going to be a creative studio using all the different AI tools, all the way from code to AI-generated video, images, and music. It's going to be sick. And so I wanted to create this. I thought it was very important, and I used AI through brute force throughout this process to create it. And I hope that it inspires you to do the same. And if there's anything that you need from me, I am going to put a general chat on create.inc where you can ask questions, and I'm going to respond there. I am also going to, on create.inc, this creating websites with AI, on this creating front end and back end with AI, this is where I'm going to put all of the information. So I haven't edited this yet, but right now I can't edit this because I'm not signed into my main account. If I sign in as rileycooperbrown@gmail.com, which is the admin account, right, I can actually I can go to this site and now I can edit this. So I will be putting all...
Are you talking about, I'm looking at your channel right now. Tessellation right here.
Okay, so I just thought I'd do a quick demo of a program that we worked on during a 3D graphics course. It's a tessellation and twist program. Basically, it's just taking a shape or polygon and just breaking it down into smaller shapes. Like, that's pretty much it.
Is this what you're talking about right here?
All of the resources here, step by step, more detail. Let me know if you guys have questions. And this is all being stored.
Okay, I have to remove myself really quick. My wife's sliding by. I'm just gonna remove the camera for a second, but I'm here. If you go on YouTube, I didn't use it yet. Check out Artificial to see what the tool is capable of. I'm guessing on YouTube. Let's see, Artificial. Give this man a subscribe real quick. Art. Need to see more content of yours, bro. Artificial art. Artificial. Interesting. All right, let's check it out.
There's a common categorization programming between code and data. Code being all the functions and procedures that instruct the computer what to do, and data being the actual values that we operate on, numbers, structs, arrays, and so on. Of course, nowadays this distinction is purely conceptual. Everything on our computers is stored using bits, whether machine code or an image. It's all a matter of interpretation. Regardless, this distinction is still very useful. In game development, we often store our data in separate files, usually referred to as assets. Consider this mesh, for example. In its simplest form, it's just an array of faces, each defined by the positions of 3 vertices that make it up. We could define this data in our program as some sort of structure, and then reference it whenever we need it. After compilation, it would become a part of the executable file, and would be loaded to memory with the rest of the program whenever the game is run. This is obviously less than ideal. Modern games can take up dozens if not hundreds of gigabytes, much more than an average PC can fit in its memory. There's a common category development, we often store our data in separate files, usually referred to as assets. Consider this mesh, for example. In its simplest form, it's just an array of faces, each defined by the positions of 3 vertices that make it up. We could define this data in our program as some sort of structure, and then reference it whenever we need it. After compilation, it would become a part of the executable file, and would be loaded to memory with the rest of the program whenever the game is run. This is obviously less than ideal. Modern games can take up dozens if not hundreds of gigabytes, much more than an average PC can fit in its memory. Storing data in standalone files allows us to load things only when we need them, and then free up the space afterwards. This is fairly straightforward because our assets are just pure data. They don't contain any code that would have to be compiled and then somehow dynamically linked to the rest of the program. They are just files with some known data format that any application could read. As such, they are the backbone of any game development pipeline. Some tools let you create assets ergonomically. For example, you probably don't want to edit the vertices of your mesh by manually entering their positions in a text editor. Instead, you use something like Blender to model it visually. You then save the mesh as a standalone file, which your game can load. With proper setup, you can even make your game watch for changes to this file and reload it automatically, or pass it through.
Okay, so I see a few things here where the two worlds of coding and animation come together. This is really big. The guy whoever this guy is a freaking genius. First off, he's able. So he's understand. And this is what I was thinking about while I was animating too. Sick. Thank you, bro. Okay. This is what I was thinking about while I was animating earlier. So I'm going through the course. And I'm thinking about, okay, so I'm inputting these things, and so that's leading to keyframes, and that's leading to changes that can then be seen on the screen. So then the guys who coded After Effects have developed this great model for creating animations. But what if we were able to implement something else from another sphere, and that could revolutionize the way that we even create animations? And exactly, he synthesizes the two. So me just barely getting into it, having that hint of wanting to learn to code and also animate, thinking that these two worlds are completely different and completely unrelated. Now this has led me to this, which is amazing. It's just beautiful the way the synchronicity is happening. So hopefully I can add some value while I'm watching the video. Maybe I'll watch this video. I'll watch another video just exploring kind of what is going on. Maybe I can explain from my spiritual perspective, help synthesize them all, and then I'll probably call it a night because I need to go to sleep. All right, let's continue.
Run asset processor that will optimize it for the GPU. But I digress. The point is, things like meshes, textures, and audio files easily fit into this data category. But there are other assets that can make this line we drew a bit more blurry. Let's use this file as an example. It's written in YAML, but it could be any data format. It describes 3 different states. Each of them contains the animation file that should be played, as well as a list of possible transitions. If the defined criteria are met, we should switch to the target state. This is obviously a little state machine, but it cannot really run. We don't know which state we are in or what the values used by the criteria are. This is, after all, just a file. We can, however, write some actual code that will load this data and parse it into some data structure that also keeps track of the current state. Then each frame we can iterate over the transitions of that state, test them, and if any matches, transition accordingly. This example is really simple, but it demonstrates the general idea. Yes, this file is still only data, but now it encodes some actual logic that can influence the flow of our code. In its current form, this state machine is not very expressive. It can really only control animations. But what if we expand it? We could add the ability to set custom parameters, and then use them to choose different transitions. We could even restructure the state machine into a flow graph invoked upon each update. This way we could do all sorts of things, like playing music, or modifying components, or even triggering custom events that could invoke other flow graphs. You'll notice that the more expressive we want this thing to be, the more similar to code it becomes. Eventually, we may decide to drop this node-based file format and use a custom programming language to describe this logic. This is called an interpreted language. It's similar to a compiled language, but it retains all the characteristics of an asset. It doesn't require compilation and can be loaded and interpreted at runtime, all for the low cost of worse performance. Looking at our code data division through these new lenses, it starts to resemble more of a spectrum, with data pure of any logic on the left, inching closer to the right as it becomes more expressive. You can probably recognize a lot of game development tools here. Things like animation state machines, behavior trees, Playmaker, blueprints, yarn spinner, and GDScript all lie somewhere on this spectrum. And just like the mesh we talked about before, most of these require the use of some visual editor. This is how an animation controller in Unity is stored, but you're not meant to edit this file. Instead, you use a tool that lets you create states, drag them around, and connect them. If we take away this editor, we're left with a data format trying to express logic which it wasn't really designed to do. A Turing-complete programming language will always be better at it. This is why it's only when we get to the level of interpreted language that we no longer need an editor. Unlike a mesh, here editing the raw text is the ergonomic approach. Now don't get me wrong, this is not a dig at visual scripting. These tools let people with no programming experience create amazing things, and I don't think that using them makes you any less of a game developer. But I love programming. I literally made this video using code. Look, here's the function that showed you this panel. And this function highlighted that code. And this function highlighted that function that highlighted that code. Anyway, using Bevy for these past few weeks made me reevaluate some things. Game engines like Unity are in a way asset-centric. There's an editor that produces assets and a runtime that consumes them. These are the scenes, prefabs, settings, and for the most part that's a great thing. But you can also define your own assets, and the engine will provide you with a visual editor for them, which in turn justifies their existence. Just like with the animation controller, even if the asset alone is awkwardly trying to describe some logic, the visual editor makes it feel okay. Most engines even let us customize it. We can spend time improving our editor, which only strengthens that justification. This is why assets used to be my go-to solution to all problems. I felt like that was the idiomatic thing to do. Now Bevy doesn't have an editor. Assets are used almost exclusively for data produced by other software. That's of course not always great, but it really made me question my choices. Is having this thing as an asset the best solution? Or am I just enjoying making a cool little editor for it? To give you a concrete example, let's take a look at Reanimator. It was a 2D animation controller I made for Unity that used a tree-like graph. Starting from the top, each node would use a value of some parameter to decide which path should be taken. Here we'd go right if a grounded parameter is set to 1. Upon reaching one of the leaf nodes, it would return an animation frame to display. Back then, I implemented this using assets. Each node was represented by a scriptable object with an array of possible branches and a string defining which parameter to use. The corresponding class implemented a resolve method. It would use the parameter name to retrieve its value from the current state, and use that to find a match in the branches array. The tree would then be traversed recursively by calling resolve on the matching branch. So once again, the logic here is encoded in this serialized data, while the resolve method serves as a simple interpreter and contains different branches. Interpretation is just...
Yeah, I feel like if I could watch more of this, but he's basically saying that you can animate through code and you can create videos through code. Yeah, causing this. Yeah, right. I'm curious to see where this will take me, because he just said that he made this video through code, and I'm looking for a way to create beautiful videos in a more basically efficient manner. I'm gonna check out that other video you mentioned. I'm reading your messages, by the way. So, okay, 1 year. I'm curious. So then, at what point? So, to you, like a question for you, I guess, would be, would it be worth it for me to learn After Effects? Or I guess right now it's almost like you want to experiment with both. So learn After Effects and look into other options to be able to bridge the gap between them both. Yeah. And what are you doing right now? Are you looking to dive into coding and creating videos through coding? I think that would be the way to go for myself. Okay. Yeah, because right now I just want to dive in and look at all of these courses, because the things that I want to do. Well, let me see. I think also more importantly, I'm curious about. Okay, dope. I'm curious about. So I'm getting feedback from a mentor. I got these courses that I need to finish. But for example, when I look at the courses that School of Motion has to offer, it excites me. Yeah, they're freaking dope, right? It excites me when I see their courses, because I just see the possibilities. I want to learn 3D. I want to learn all of this. So, Explainer Camp, that's where we're talking about coding almost, because I started diving into expressions a little bit, and I was like, no, not Explainer Camp, expression session. I started diving into coding a little bit, and then I see this and I'm like, bro, I just want to consume it all. And then I see this right here as a gateway to an intersection between coding and After Effects. And I know we got the similar interests, bro. It's crazy. Video effects for motion, like the videos that I want to create, I want them to have like sick ass animations, like glowing orbs and things like right behind me, like shit like this, yeah. So no, I'm glad to connect with you, bro. I'm curious. Yeah, so I guess the plan right now is to create. I think the plan is like a balance of creation and consumption. No, you're good, man. You're good. I'm about to head. I still got a few minutes. 10-15 minutes. But I'm realizing it's a balance between consumption and creation. So it's almost like, consumption is the feedback from the outside world, and creation is the feedback from the inside world. So what I'm seeing in navigating this space and navigating all of these ideas, all of this drive, the key will be going and following that flux of creation and consumption. So consuming would be studying, like learning courses, reading books, scouring the internet and finding other things that other people are doing. Yeah, I'm down to conversate, bro. Have you joined the community? How about you join the community, bro? It'd be sick to have you in there. We meet up weekly. I got 3 calls in there that I'm always showing up in. And then we can talk about, right now I'm looking to build a team. Right now, like, we get a team for creating videos. So I want to create high production videos, and it'll be good to just have you there. Maybe that's something that you're interested in right now. I'm working full time and looking to raise my income. So hopefully in the future I can be able to pay and create a solid team and just be able to just create. But yeah, I can talk to you about so many different things, bro. I can already see that we have similar interests. So if you're curious to join the community, let me know. Just reply yes if you're curious. And then if not, we can always just, I don't know. You can connect with me on Instagram or, okay, let's do it. I'm gonna send you the link, bro. Just, let's see. So this is my community. I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna be on there 3 times. I'm on there 3 times a week. The next call that we have is gonna be on Wednesday, and then we're gonna have another call on Thursday. And then also when you join, I'm gonna have you book an onboarding call. Basically, I'm gonna get you to meet you. We can talk, and you know, see like how we can collaborate together, how we can help each other out. I think it's great that we have similar interests. I think really right now we're at the edge, like, of humanity's evolution, humanity's breakthroughs. I could see it in my mind within at least the way I perceive business, the way I perceive technology, the way I perceive health. My goal is to be able to put all of these fields together so that everybody has a chance to actualize their potential and there's no limitations. So I'm using the spiritual perspective to, highlight how to basically, really remove any barriers, but I'm also looking at the evidence that is outside in the world, looking at the new things that are developing so that people get an idea of, okay, you know what, technology is actually allowing me to achieve my dreams. So why am I not just using it? Why am I not just diving in? That's really the goal. The idea for the community is to create people who can help people basically tap into their potential. That's it. Like, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want to create, just putting you in that state to just constantly create. But yeah, like I said, I think in terms of guidance and figuring things out, my soul is telling me right now it's gonna be very important for me to learn to slow down and to listen to my intuition and to just follow the breadcrumbs, not get too ahead of myself, not try to get it all done at the same time. Like, I even asked you that question, what should I do? Should I even focus on After Effects? I think right now it's just a matter of just follow the impulse, follow my intuition, stay curious, put in the work, as in do the studying, do the creating, put out the video ideas, put out the videos, and then I think and then also and then the other side is just consuming the content, like staying open to whatever comes. So staying open and then creating, and dope, bro. I could already see, dude. I'm excited, man. Like, I feel like you and I are very similar in terms of we're both wanting to create, we're both learning, we're both very interested in it, and I feel like we can just make something happen, bro. Yeah, and then also, bro, just letting you know, we got a monthly challenge. So the challenge for this month is going to be on posting on social media. Basically, well, we can build our way up to post on social media. That's the end goal. But maybe I can help you out with developing that consistency. because I know as a YouTuber, bro, like I understand the struggles. So I'll show you my other YouTube channel. I don't know if you know about it, but I'm just gonna show you really quick what I got. Lucid Living. So right now we're on Lucid Vlogs. Lucid Vlogs is where I just post my raw content. But Lucid Living is where I plan on posting my more highly produced content. And then this is the video that I'm most proud of. An intro. No, that's not it. I use the same thumbnail because I really like that thumbnail. The video I am most proud of is this one right here. How dreams reveal the soul. And in this video, I just went ham, bro. This was like, this is the piece of work that I was most proud of, and I also put the most time into. But then I ended up leaving, I stopped creating just because I didn't see it. I didn't get the views that I wanted. I wanted to blow up, but I got so much engagement for where I was at. I just didn't believe in myself. But yeah, like,
We get now this aspect of our lives, always searching dreams and practicing some dream work myself. I understood that dreams serve as a gateway to understanding myself,
solving problems and connecting to my soul. In order for you to understand the world of dreams, I want you to look at the psyche as if it were to be split into two different modes of thinking. The first mode will be the conscious mind, and the second mode will be the unconscious mind. I want you to understand that these two modes, or these two minds, are actually two sides. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but I mean, this isn't even me. Like, I just know I could have done more. These sick ass, bro, man, like, I look at this and I'm just like, man, I just want to go back. I want to go back to doing this, and I'm already coming back, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, I want to be able to help you out with consistency. That's what I can for sure help you out with. And I know the challenge will be perfect for where you're at, if that's something that you're struggling with. And then we can talk collaboration, working together, whatever, bro. But check out the community. Once you join, you can book a call. I'll send you the link, and then once we book the call, we'll meet, we'll talk, we'll plan, and go from there. All right, man. I think awesome. There we go. I got you, brother. Let's do it, man. I'm gonna accept you, and now I'm gonna send you the link, and then we'll get you onboarded, bro, and we'll get going, bro. We're gonna get creating. Let's make this shit happen. So I'm gonna send you the link through the community. All right, so just check out your DMs. Let me know if you got it. Let's go. All right, bro. Do the times work for you? If they do, if not, I can figure out a way to meet sometime on another day. So we can do this. Just get in here, get to working ASAP. Okay, bet. Thank you, brother. All right, man. So I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go to sleep. This is great. I'm glad you were able to sit down with me. I'm glad I learned something. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, for sure. We're gonna be here. See you later, brother. Peace, man. Take care.